Thank you very much. Please put your hands in gassho. May this humble merit of reciting the sutras, offering the incense, flowers, and sweets, offering our thoughts and good wishes, our time, and our presence, all be extended to our loved ones, our families and friends, to all those in your community, to all peoples, and to all sentient beings. Namakie Butsu, Namakie Ho, Namakie So. はい、ありがとうございます。改めまして、おはようございます。Good morning. It's always good to see you on Sunday morning. Today, I'd like to start my message with one expression. There's sometimes you receive a booklet from Japan, and I sort of look for sometimes some nice teachings. It's there, but also it's all written in Japanese. I found this word. It basically means ikka, hiraku, tenka no haru. One blossom blooming in the spring under heaven, under sky. So this is basically the translation, rough translation of this a little article that I found. It goes, 2020 was filled with quite stressful, both physically and mentally, for many of us. People all over the world, and this particular expression of one blossom blooming in the spring under heaven, under sky, it comes from one of the Chinese teachers. Back then, people all over the world, meaning China, dressed warm in this wintertime. They tried to stay frugal throughout the winter to save the resource, energy. And one day, they spot a blossom of plum, and they realized the arrival of spring. The way the blossom blooms is not only a sign of spring here, but it is the world of the Buddhas. Nowadays, many experts mention how the world would be embracing a new kind of normalcy after the COVID-19 pandemic. That will probably heavily depend on IT technologies. But then there's no such sort of line that would divide the future from the past, from the perspective of Buddhism. Because based on the teaching of transiency and impermanence, every single moment embraces the new normalcy, which itself is the world of the Buddhas. During this time, especially, I was reflecting on one particular line from the sutra. It was a sutra made by this famous monk in 1700s. His name was Kisen Sekito, or Sekito Kisen, or Reverend Sekito, however you'd like to call him. In this sutra that he created, it's a sort of a message that he sent to his students, which is the Ogi, the deep, secret, esoteric message. Here's this famous line. By the way, the name of the sutra is called Harmony of Difference in Equality, or Sandokai. It goes, each of the myriad things has its merit, expressed according to function and place. Phenomena exist, box and lid fit, principal response, arrow points meet. Hearing the words, understand the meaning. Don't set up standards of your own. I mean, of course, this has a deep meaning, but when I heard this line first, I thought of how uh, during this period when the virus continued to affect our life and livelihood, many of us, even small children or people from all age groups, are going through this anxiety. Some are going through depression. COVID 19 has halted the activity of many individuals, enterprises, societies, even countries. In Japan, I was growing up, we are often advised to take things slowly, be patient, and try to be content with less in times like this. And in fact, this is a personal thing, but I'm in the final years of so-called yakudoshi. These are supposed to be unfortunate years. 41, 42, 43. I'm turning 43 this year. So this is the last year of this supposedly unfortunate years, yakudoshi. And that's why in a setsubun we throw beans and then we sort of wash off these misfortunes supposed to be affecting us inevitably. So there's this kind of ancient idea that misfortune is inevitable. It will come. And there's a tendency that these unfortunate years tend to come at certain life stages because of our physical condition, the relationship with colleagues, boss, families. You may have children, you may have more responsibility at work. So people in ancient time always understood that misfortune do come, and they also developed how to live in such misfortunes. And that is the wisdom of our history. They would say, be patient, don't be reckless, enjoy your quiet life, be content, and be careful, and be happy with what you have. There's a story that many of us know if you grew up in Japan. It's about the unifier of the country, Tokugawa Ieyasu, who started the long shogunate government. And there's a story which is actually nowadays it's kind of refuted. Not sure, kind of credibility of the story is a little bit questioned nowadays. But we know this story that Tokugawa Ieyasu was one time defeated by his enemy. It was a December 1572, and he managed to survive this war. And he found shelter in Hamamatsu Castle, which is that far from where I grew up. And then at that time, he asked his retainers to draw his own pictures, completely stressed out, completely distressed, his face distorted. And he kept this throughout the rest of his life to make sure that his complacency, his pride or his ego, every time it emerges, he kept this as a reminder um, through his life. And this is a lesson that we learn from our history that every time we go through a difficult time, make sure you draw, I mean, metaphorically, draw your own face. Remember it. The picture that I showed you is called shikamizo, face distorted with fear. Like I said, some people nowadays claim it was a story made up posthumously to glorify, to honor his wisdom and his patience. He was known for his patience. So, whenever misfortune happens to me, I try to think of my so called worst years of life. It's highly subjective analysis, but for me, year when I was 21, 22, 23, that was always the worst years of my life. Depression kept lingering. I stayed inactive for many, many, many months. Life seemed so meaningless. While other young ones, my friends, were staying active, some are becoming successful, enjoying their youth. Difficult days and years has always played important roles in my life. Whether I'm in a successful place or unsuccessful. Experience of difficulty has always been playing certain roles, helping me survive various difficult situations. And I'm sure it's not just me. Many people use that wisdom they learn through difficult time. So again, the line goes, each of the mirrored things has its merit, expressed according to function and place. Phenomena exist, box and lid fit. Principle response, arrow points meet. Hearing the words, understand the meaning, don't set up standards of your own. It is this kind of understanding that I try to maintain about difficulty. We can set up our own standards, keep adding the meaning, but kind of Buddhist way of coping with this difficulties, we trust that all phenomena is happening dually according to the cause and effect, and it has its place to fit. COVID-19 has emerged according to the cause and effect. It has its place and function. Political unrest emerged according to the cause and effect. It has its place and function. So, I hope we can sort of see through this phenomena and gain wisdom through this difficult time. So that's all for me from today.